thermal imaging. So if you guys, you guys can see me in the, right?
Hot and cold.
Yeah, hot and cold, okay? So you see all the blue behind me, like around my head, okay? So if I lift it up and take me out, it's gonna fluctuate with the temperatures that are on the screen. So Larry, your job is going to be to find those darker blue spots, and if you can slowly move it into the crosshairs that's in the center, we might actually get a full temperature read of 20 to 30 degrees lower. Now I have caught little waves with this without somebody even noticing it, but we are going to upload this video because it's already recording to YouTube and then back over to my website, so you guys have a full 90-minute to a 2-hour video to watch.
Wow.
I will do a quick scan of it in the morning and just kind of see where the hot spots were based on some of the other gadgets that went off. So if you do miss something, it's not a big deal, but that red square needs to stay a red square all night, and it should stay horizontal just like this, just like you're filming a movie all night long. Very cool, right?
Wow.
That's one of my later gadgets. We have caught things with it, with blue orbs coming across. The other cool thing about that too is you'll notice like some of the structures have a white outline around them. Or you might even see like a light that's on a building that has a white outline. If you see one of those blue blobs with a white outline that's starting to move, we definitely have something on camera.
So the coldest signature would be a dark blue or white?
It's gonna almost look black.
Ah, okay.
So like when you go up onto the sky, it goes. Yeah. Okay.
So hot is red, orange.
Some of you might be double-fisted with stuff just so that we can capture all the... So, because this is your first time ghost anything, you look like a girl that can handle a cell phone, that loves to take pictures.
Yeah.
Oh,
for
man.
sure.
You just earned $20.
So, this is obviously just a straight-up digital camera.
Okay.
I'm sure you remember these, yes?
Yeah, for
All right,
sure.
so don't age yourself. So, the rule of thumb is nobody can be in a picture but me.
Okay.
So, if you need a picture of a shot and it's anybody else, just ask them to move. I'm trying to take a picture. The flash on this is going to be minimal, and of course that includes cars and things like that. So we don't want people thinking we're taking pictures of cars, and it's happened before.
Okay.
Take as many as you want.
As many, as long as it's just you, right?
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
So those pictures, and we've caught things with this camera before, shadow people, some weird light things that couldn't really match up. Now my wife is my graphic designer in-house. She designed the logo for Stories in a Cemetery. She does all my stuff for Instagram and all that stuff.
Cool.
Anything I capture, I send straight to her for her to debunk. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. If something comes up where she's like, oh no, the light bounced off of that mirror, whatever, or that window, she'll tell me and I will tell you back. Like, I'm not gonna hide anything for you guys.
So I can just take however many pictures, as long as
many.
it's just you, right?
Yep.
Okay.
As long as I'm the only person in the picture.
Yeah.
You are also going to be in charge of this guy. This is an electromagnetic field detector. Okay. If you've watched any kind of ghost shows, this should be somewhat recognizable.
Okay.
This measures 3 different types of electromagnetic fields. First one is from the Earth. That's why it's green. The Earth has a generalized EMF. Anyway, so the next one is going to be any kind of electronic device. So if I were to put my cell phone right on top of this while it was on, it would actually give a pulse. Same thing with wiring. Our wiring in Charleston is underneath the streets for all the crossworks and all of the, crosswalks and the parking meters. So it's going to give a pulse, a rhythm. We don't want that rhythm. We want something pretty erratic. Okay? I mean, we want this thing to go nuts. So if you can't make sense of it, you need to speak up. It doesn't make any noise. So this is your main focus. That is for you to have fun with.
Just take pictures. Okay. Oh God.
The pictures, just so you know, I will upload those to a file folder on my Facebook page where you guys can download them, do whatever you want, and of course the link will be directly on my website page. I do that because pictures take up a lot of space on a website, and Facebook is free.
You're a detective now. Look at you.
Yeah.
I've always been.
I need you to be pretty chatty. Can you do that?
Okay.
Alright, so this is a spirit box. Spirit box is basically a radio sweeper. It's going to sweep through FM radio stations very, very quickly. In the event you hear a DJ, a song lyric, or a disembodied voice over top of that static, you need to tell us what it is. Now, it's also okay if you miss something, because this is going to record the entire session, whether the volume is up or down. I don't know how it does that, but it does. It's one of the reasons why I purchased this one. I actually have another one, but it doesn't record. Again, I'm trying to focus on the stuff that records for us. So, I'm going to turn this guy on and get it started.
Xbox. Scanning. FM.
Didn't realize there were so many ghost hunting tools, did you?
I did.
Alright, so you can see that the FM station is scanning through. I'm going to hit this little record button as soon as it wants to work. There we go.
Playback.
Nope, nope, nope.
Do you need light?
No, I'm too quick. Too quick with it. There.
Xbox. Scanning. FM.
I'm trying to see if it works.
Is it on?
Alright, so all you need to know is if that SD slot is on there, it's recording to the SD card, and right up here, there's a turnstile that turns the volume up and down.
Okay.
So you hear how it's flipping through the radio stations? Anything that where it stops long enough for you to hear it, and it actually makes out even I just heard the word hi. I don't know in which context it was, but I still heard the word hi. It'll still record everything for us. You just have to be careful of the button right next to it, because if you push it that way, it'll shut the whole thing off and we have to restart it.
Oh, okay.
So, again, if you want to keep it down, obviously when we're talking and listening to the story of where we're at, then you turn it up when I say, okay, let's get those spirit boxes up and running.
So you're gonna give me a sword, right? In case I need to fight off the demons.
You get a lightsaber. He thinks I'm kidding.
Is this supposed to have flash, or it's not?
I'd rather it not
No,
have
okay,
flash,
cool,
because
cool.
we don't want false positives.
Okay, cool. That's what I just wanted to make sure. Okay.
So, this is going to be interesting. This is a relatively new one for me too. Sorry if I flashed you. So what this guy is, this is a grid box. So a grid box actually gives us a red laser grid.
Oh.
So in the event, she actually can capture, like it's going to look like very, very quick flashes. But let's say we actually get a picture of it very quickly in the meantime, or you actually capture it on video. I can take whatever the picture is, put it in a 3D software, and we'll have a full 3D image of the entire apparition that we catch. Have I caught anything with this guy yet? No. But it is super cool. This is almost like a pocket item. So, lasers, main streets, not a good idea, and they stay pretty low. So you start it straight down, and then you work your way out in front of you. I'll demonstrate with this guy. But this really is the neuralizer for Men in Black. You guys will not remember a damn thing after I'm done. This one does not give us a full box grid. It gives us a dot grid. Okay?
Wow.
Okay, same principle. All right?
No,
Now,
that's
just to
all
give you kind of a little bit of a different demonstration, in case we actually have a full apparition walking through it slowly. You guys see that green streaks?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So, again, lasers shoot really, really far. We don't want to be shooting them too far. I would say usually start down straight in front of you, and then you work your way out, and I'll tell you where our levels are at.
Okay.
So again, I'll have that guy. I'm really like,
Yeah, I'm trying to make our way
Yeah.
out there. You're gonna tell me when to fire this thing, right?
oh yeah. I'm gonna give you one more, just kind of as a backup. So, and it goes along with obviously Larry's thermal camera. We should all recognize what these guys are now, right? Okay. So,
Unfortunately.
right. So I have another thermometer like this one. The difference with this one is this will only gauge what it actually touches. The reason why I have two different kinds of thermometers plus thermal imaging is I want to debunk things. I don't want to give us false hope that we have something. So let's say Larry is shooting a wall and he has a blue spot right in the middle of it. I'm going to actually gauge the middle of the wall and find out that it's the exact same temperature as the rest of the wall. So now we know that whenever he's caught, that blue blob is between him and the wall and the way he's shooting it. So I have an ambient temperature as well, thermometer, that will actually allow us to find where the blue blob is. It measures the air around the probe at the top. But we're going to use this in several different areas just to kind of get a base read. So you are like kind of double-fisted too. So everybody's.
I'm gonna get rid of this. So
Okay.
I'm
But actually, there should be trash cans.
Yeah, there's one over there. I just
All right. So
don't know. You're gonna want to use it.
I'm also
I'm good,
going to
I'm good.
record the entire thing for you on me. And there's a couple reasons for that. What's today? The 30th?
The 30th. Yep.
July 30th, 9 p.m. So that will stay with me all night long. So you guys can, if you don't hear any EVPs, which is electronic voice phenomenon, voices we can't hear, only electronic devices could. We also have audio on the camera. And I use a couple of different things on my phone. So to kind of make this whole thing full immersive, I have an EMF backup on my phone, just like yours, so in case your batteries die, I can
Okay.
quickly move to a backup. I also use a spirit box that is going to give me a list of words right here in the center. So there is a little box there that will give us words as they start to come up. The cool thing about it is it will give us the full list of words at the end of the tour. This is from the last tour that I did. There were 66 entries. We're going to clear them out because they already have them, and I will upload that list to your evidence.
Okay.
Now, 80% of it, I'll be honest, it's bullshit. Doesn't mean anything. It's the 20% that it's up to us to figure out what's what and if it actually makes sense or not.
Okay.
Say, got one more little gadget that I use, and that's for your listening pleasure. I know, it's a lot. Larry's like, let's go, man. Let's go find some ghosts. So this is a reverse spirit box. What does a reverse spirit box do?
It talks to them.
It has the same FM stations, only it's flipping it backwards. So in the event we actually hear something forward, this way I can speak and communicate with them audibly, instead of just waiting for something to come through on the spirit box with the words or yours. I might ask a question and the answer might come up on yours. I ask weird questions. I don't ask yes or no questions. I don't say, is somebody here with us? It's pretty easy to get a yes.
Yeah.
The question is, how many are here with us? So if I
Okay.
get 12, that's pretty distinctive, yes?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So this guy, I'm gonna turn it up just so you guys can hear what it is. It's like complete gibberish. So because I use this on me all night long, you guys will also hear my communication in the event that I walk away from you. I won't go far. If I walk away, just stay away from that spirit box to not interfere. You'll hear the entire thing on your audio. So you guys are going to get the full audio, the full spirit box audio, the list, the pictures, the link to that, the full video on this, the list of words from me, and a quick analysis of everything that I see as a whole. Because sometimes, and we might leave here tonight, guys, and go, man, that was kind of a dud tour. But in the morning, I'm going to go, we had soldier, Navy, like fire, like something will link together. That is almost a guarantee. All right, so guys, we start here on purpose. Any questions about your gadgets?
No. What does this do again?
So if I see it turning a different color, right?
Yes. Like you are our first indicator that something is happening.
Oh God. Okay.
It will make a noise.
Do I
or
say
just
something?
No noise.
The light.
light signature.
The
Just
light,
lights.
yeah, the light. And I just take pictures, right?
And take pictures. I try to make things that you're not the ghost person, so I try to make it. That's why I have different kinds of tools. I got high tech, and then I got the
Cool.
non-experience.
Yeah.
So-
good,
We'll switch
good, good, good.
This place right here, guys.
Sounds good.
This actually used to be a place called Big John's. Okay, Big John played for the New York Giants, 1947 to 1954. Don't ask me how I remember that because I'm not a sports guy. But this place was named after him, and he would sit in the back of the bar and kind of nod off to the bartender if somebody was of age or not. All the cadets used to come over from the Citadel. So one night he pissed off two guys, told the bartender, cut them off. They're not of age. They're not supposed to be drinking. The two guys leave. They come back the next night and they steal the cash register from the front. Big John pulls out his .45 from the back of the bar, takes one out, kills him. The bullet hole is still in the front of the building. Now, I say this because anybody that sits up front gets a little disoriented, a little queasy, lightheaded, headache, those kind of things. I know how paranormal activity affects me. In the event any of you do not feel well, you have to speak up. I literally had a woman pass out on me a few months ago. It was too much paranormal activity. It was a very high EMF area, and it did not go well. So, she's safe now. She's perfectly fine. But I need you all to speak up. If your partner's like, no, I'm fine, speak up for them. Okay?
Right.
Is that fair?
Fair.
Cool.
All right. The other goes to Kant here, and I got the name Greg. So anytime I get a name around here, I have to look at the roster from the 1947 Giants and find out who these people are. The reason why I say that is because one night I had no idea what the word skip meant, turned out it was a draft pick the following year after John Kennedy started for the Giants. In 1948, we had a Skip something was drafted. So it was kind of like, okay, that makes perfect sense. And now I got the name Ford College. So, interesting.
Cool.
But the other death that occurred here, 1886, we had a big earthquake. So you guys haven't taken another tour here yet. Have you guys taken a tour here? A history tour?
Cool.
Okay.
This will be our first one, right here with you.
Okay. So I can lie to you guys all night long and you won't know any different.
Right.
Awesome. So the mantling that's above your heads actually wraps around the front of the building as well. The earthquake we had, 1886, a piece of it fell, struck somebody in the head, and killed him. His ghost is said to have been seen, and there's no record of it that I could find right here in the middle of East Bay Street. And that was from the previous owner of this place. His name was Paul. He owned a place called Kane Rum Bar, but he just moved. So, you guys ready to walk? Get out of this area?
Yeah.
All right.
Ready.
Let's do this. We're going to head down here. I can't make this stuff up, guys. I can't.
What we got here?
So, Greg, College, Bar, and Confidence. Confidence is the one that I'm like probably ruling out, but everything else, I'm almost positive I can probably find a Greg that played for the Giants in the 6 years, that especially with the double G. Like that's what I'm looking for. All of the gadgets and all of the stuff that I use on tonight's tour, there's a link on your evidence page at the top if you're interested in what the gadgets were or what the apps are.
So this thing I'm just listening for words.
Yeah, that's it.
So, and you want me to tell you if I heard something?
Yeah.
I heard somebody say okay.
We'll take it. You just never know what the word okay means. Alright, so we stopped here on purpose. So there's a couple things right behind you. So Crew Cafe is haunted. I've done a quick walkthrough while they were open with the EMF meter. Because again, it's kind of I'm going to test to see if this place has got anything. There is something going on upstairs. However, that used to be a slave home. It's hard for me to find the history because slave homes did not have addresses. So it was obviously expanded because it has a second floor and it's pretty big. But hopefully I'll get to do that full investigation soon. Obviously COVID got in the way. History buffs, the stop sign right past Crew Cafe. Revolutionary War, ship rolls up to the water. Keep in mind too, our peninsula, most of it, the outside of it is man-made. So the water would have been much closer, almost like a good 3/4 of a block closer. Like that's how much of that is man-made. So the ship rolls up, shoots a cannon, and the cannonball lands right at the stop sign. No deaths, no tragedies, no horrific, paranormal, anything. Just a weird little fun fact. The place where we're about to walk through, this is a lasers down low kind of area. This is kind of your first play area. There's no history here other than the Red Barn itself. The Red Barn is where they keep the horses for the carriage rides. And it's also the same place that they kept the horses that deliver milk home. So that kind of gives you the age of it, so like 1860s, 10s. The horses are in there, so that's why I say lasers down. Make sure there's no flash on the photography because we will shoot the horses. So we want to laser light keep it off.
Is it off?
I started on. Yeah. So if you want to take a quick picture just to make sure it's in a dark area.
Yeah, it is.
I get a ton of stuff out of it. Sometimes I get stuff that relates back to Big John's bar. You have the word Arab. Does that mean anything to anybody? Arab? Okay. Sometimes, it just depends on who the person is.
Mhm.
Whatever comes through starts relating back to one specific person in my group.
Okay.
It happens.
Aaron.
So if you've got something haunting your house or your workplace or anything like that, something that might actually pop up. You never know. I had a work at one time, we lost somebody overseas, and everything that we did directed right towards his buddy that passed away in battle. Okay.
My childhood friend that passed away was Eric.
Was he?
So, great place for pictures. Whenever you get something high on that EMF,
Just
this
take
isn't.
pictures, right?
Well, you stop and you have to let us know. Like, you just stop right in your tracks.
Okay.
So sometimes that'll go off right here. Sometimes it'll wait till we leave. Nothing's ever consistent in this place.
Okay.
That's why it's kind of your own playground.
Okay.
I'm going to be kind of bouncing around with you guys just to see like what's happening. Nice slow sweeps on the camera. See if you find any of those cold spots. The pixelization is not up to our cell phone standards. Obviously, if you're listening, you hear it pretty intently. And,
Mine's going off. Yep.
you get
It's
some?
like, yeah, it's like orange.
They're probably
Probably.
gonna-
Turning orange.
Oh,
Look, you see
you
that?
got blinking orange.
Is it just me? Or?
No, it's not just you.
Oh, it's blinking up. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got some spikes of orange here right now.
See how it's not a rhythm? Like that's what we're looking
Right,
for. We
okay.
want it to be erratic. So I would walk around and see if you can maybe get it up to red.
To red? Is that
Red.
the...
Look for more hot spots.
And you said I can take any picture as long as there's nobody in it, right?
Of him.
Or cars. You can be in it. That's it, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm used to being in the limelight. Alright. So Angela, I mean definitely be listening intently.
Are you guys still walking?
Did you guys book a tour? You're probably looking for Bulldog. They're down the road.
Oh, how far down?
It's about a block.
Oh, where is it?
Yeah, just Bulldog, go down a block and make a left. Yep.
Thank you.
Oh, red. Orange, solid orange.
Okay, so your grid pen, go ahead and shoot it straight down.
Oh, it's orange.
Yeah, it's orange. It's orange.
Oh, orange.
So at this point, we can probably go in a little bit of communication. So, orange. Don't back away from it. Every time you move, it's going to change.
Yeah, I mean, it's still orange. Right here, it's orange.
And I got the name or word of will. So I don't know if that's a name or if that's something else. And I'm actually going to walk away from the group. So what I would do if I were you, stop taking pictures of the EMF and start taking pictures of the grids.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we don't want the actual, like, really we're looking for the in-between.
Okay.
I know it's hard to not stare at what's actually on the ground,
Yeah, but just
really what you're looking for is going to be up here, not down.
I have both of them on at the same time.
You can. It's up to you. You can kind of spread it out if you want to. There you go. That way you have a nice open area.
There was something, but I couldn't make out what it said.
And that's okay too. It's just, if it stops long enough to give us noise. So can you tell me how many people are with me tonight? How many?
Somebody pull it.
Yeah, always red.
A child?
What was that?
A child?
Okay. You're doing exactly what you need to do with those, nice and still. When you start flashing them around, it just looks like swirls. Russ. I'm getting a lot of names. Wow. A lot of names. And I don't know, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't start getting stuff about Big John's up until about 6-7 weeks ago. And I don't know if it's because I've been looking into it more, that more stuff is coming, but I'm going to have to look into all these names to see if any of them fall on that roster. Push.
Really strong arms.
So do you notice how it doesn't always stay stagnant in one place? And the spirit's not going to say, I'm right here. And that's where you have to be able to find them. They're going to move. They're going to fluctuate. You have anything going on in your camera?
Not that I can tell. Yeah.
That's the wrong answer. I don't have 7 people.
You have 5 people.
What's that?
You have 5 people.
I got the number 7. I asked how many people are with me, meaning how many are with me? 4. So that way I was getting a definitive one syllable answer, and it gave me
No,
the number.
it said on this, you have 5 people.
Did it
Oh.
really?
Yes.
I thought you were correcting me.
No, I wasn't listening to you. I was listening to this.
See anything? This is almost like a deceit.
How many people are here minus me?
Oh, right here, right here, right here.
Can you... Something about any more tonight.
Not anymore tonight.
There was something before any more tonight, but I don't know what it was.
So I just got the word lady too. Can you tell me what the lady's name is? Do you go by shortened anything, or is it just Angela?
What?
Do you go by Angela, Angie?
Yeah, both of them.
Both of them,
I
okay.
could have swore I
I'm
heard
just-
my name come out of this thing, but it was switching channels.
Okay.
That's weird.
Red, green, red,
Closer.
Closer.
Oh yeah, it's red. It's red. Oh, it turned red from. Oh yeah, it's red. Right here. Right here. Right here. Yeah. Yeah, it's red right here. Right here.
I'm asking questions that are weird to see if it's going to come through on you. Because it seems like whenever I ask something, you're getting the answer. So red over here.
It was orange. It's orange right here.
Yeah.
What's red though? Oh, it's red. Wait, it's turned red right here. It's red right here.
This is freaky, man.
Everywhere. I don't care.
Come on, I know you're playing games.
Look at this. Right here. Right here. Oh yeah, right here. It's turning red.
Anything else?
Stuff is coming in like hearing underneath her camera.
And that's okay. 'Cause this is like kind of like getting you used to like what to look for. It's a nice wide open space for the camera. Obviously we can use
Right
lasers
here.
in here.
Oh yeah.
EMF
It's
goes
red.
crazy in random areas.
Yeah.
It's not red. Yeah.
Alright, everybody kind of have a good grasp
Yeah.
on what they're doing, what they're
Yeah.
looking for.
Yeah.
How I kind of wander off and play with the spirit box.
Yeah.
Alright, we're going to move on to, and I still want you to tell me if something goes like so radically crazy.
Yeah. Oh, it's red right now.
Like right now?
Oh, it's red right now. It's going away, but it's coming back as orange.
Back and forth orange. What? Orange?
Oh, red right here.
Red box.
That it is. I asked probably 7, 8 times. You hear it on your audio. What color is the barn next to Angela?
Holy smoke.
Do we want to hang out here for another 5, or do we want to go learn some history?
On you, buddy.
It's your tour. I do this every night.
Whatever. No.
You got any more?
It just, it's orange.
All right, let me try something else. You guys still hang out in your red spot.
Oh, right here, right?
So if I have a full group, there's 3 spare boxes running. Technically 4, because I have 2. So I'll ask a question, and somebody will say, I just heard something. I heard red box. Or somebody comes over here, I heard green. And it's kind of like, can't the spirits
Well,
stand
it's
for the
like
person?
commercials are coming through
Yep.
on some of the stations, so I'm trying to like decipher what is a commercial or like hearing it myself.
That's red right here. That's red
You're
right
asking
here.
questions, and I don't put them in. It's gonna be hard. And I'll tell you what I'll tell you. But so,
Got anything in there, man?
I think we're ready to move on.
No, nothing that looks odd to me.
I got a lot of names out of this area, so I definitely need to look into all those names. So,
Go.
honest to go. At that point, when I do get stuff like that, I usually say, we're leaving now. If you want to say goodbye, now is your time. So,
Get out of here, guys. Follow me. Hope is a military tour.
Oh, it's red right here.
I'm still waiting for the answer to the question.
Too focused on it right here.
It's literally got to be right on top of it. So when you have an orange and a red, there's something right here.
Okay.
That creeps you out a little bit. That's
It
what I
does, actually. I don't want nothing on me.
So it's not like out there. It's like
It's
right
like
here.
on me.
Right.
Oh God, no. It was like red, like 2 reds.
This is probably the
Like
happiest
all
place.
full, like full red right here.
That's weird that it's out there.
Oh yeah, it's red, 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 red.
This is gonna be a good one. So, come on in. It's okay.
Come here, baby.
I'm scared.
This honestly is
Oh,
probably
yeah,
my she's already here. So this is the Eliza and Charles Pinckney mansion. So how this one works is the mansion was in the front, talking colonial times, 1750s. Sorry, trying to project. And then Eliza, her garden would have been lined up with that blue dumpster, and then the slave homes would have been back here. Okay, so the cool thing about, there's a lot of cool little facts about this place. Nobody ever talks about it, because obviously it's a parking lot. And I promise you, we're not going to go to parking lots all night long. We're going to see some cool stuff. But this particular location, Eliza and Charles had a son named Charles, a They also had a nephew named Charles. The son and the nephew signed our Constitution. They were raised here. Okay, so that's super cool history that for some reason we never talk about. But you probably see Pinckneys all over town. Pinckney Inn, Pinckney Avenue where we started, that kind of thing. But Eliza is really where the story gets interesting. I hate politics, so I don't want to talk about it. So, Eliza, she actually married Charles so that she could stay here in the United States. Her dad wanted her home in England because he was sick, thought he was dying. She didn't want to go. So she married Charles regardless of the age difference. It was almost 20 years between them. So, Dad gets better. The two make amends. Daddy starts sending her stuff. Eliza was a botanist. I just told you about her garden. So he used to send over plants and all kinds of things. One of those plants happened to be indigo. Indigo is a plant that creates blue dye that makes your blue jeans blue. We still use it today. Now, indigo for Charleston is what saved the city economically. After our rice plantations went downhill, we needed another cash crop in order to get us ramped up again. She was also the businesswoman that sold that indigo overseas. Now we're talking colonial times, so there was no businesswomen anywhere. Like that was unheard of. So Eliza is a huge deal around here. You're gonna see like Indigo Inn right down the road that way. You're gonna see things like the Indigo Hotel and things named after that. So that's why that's there, is because Eliza Lucas Pinckney was a big savior for Charleston. And I say Eliza Lucas Pinckney is because she was the second wife named Eliza from Charles. So she was literally the next one named Eliza. So he had a wife named Eliza.
Very odd.
Yeah. Now, Eliza's not buried here. She didn't die here. She obviously got from here from England, but this was her home. She speaks to me directly a lot of times through my spirit box. It'd be interesting if you and I have weird conversations tonight. Pictures, please be careful. People get a little sketchy with their cars here. So if you could just have it dangling from your wrist on the wrist strap, that would be perfect. Just kind of be our eyes and ears with the EMF. Grid pens, keep them below the wall because these are businesses around us and we will disturb them. I'll ask that everybody stays away from the back of the trailer here. We've had some trouble with homeless sleeping back there. So everybody just kind of stay up here. They don't bother anybody, but we don't want to disturb them either. They're still people. I'm usually pretty active in here with my stuff. We've caught some cold spots here. The grid pens, it just depends. So we don't want to draw attention to ourselves. I call them muggles. So if people are walking by trying to get to their cars, we're just kind of hanging out looking for ghosts. She's definitely all into those two gadgets together. I picked the right two for her. But again, it's a parking lot, so be mindful of the cars.
Well, they want you to know that the indigo saved the country, not the city.
Did it say
You
save
said
the country?
city, it said country.
Really?
Yeah. And
I
it
picked
said
the right
hello
gadget for
already.
her.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
Holy cow.
Super cool.
Okay. Wow. Wow.
Charleston was a wealthy area, was it?
Yeah.
Back in the 1700s.
Still is.
Yeah. Seriously
I
wealthy.
can't afford to live down here. There's no way I'm living down here. So, super cool. So, everybody kind of check out the EMF detector real quick.
Oh, yeah.
It's red.
Right?
It's been red.
Everybody look at the light that's flashing on the back of the Five Church restaurant. Now, that light is not always blinking. Sometimes it's completely on, sometimes it's rapidly firing, sometimes it's blinking pretty slow like the way it is. 90% of the time, it's in sync with the EMF detector. That tells you how much energy is here that's actually affecting that particular light.
Oh, man, that's
So
creepy.
if you actually stand anywhere else from here and you hold it up like you're going to take a selfie and it's still in the background, you can actually see where the pulsing from that light bulb is the same as the pulsing on your EMF detector.
Wow, that's crazy.
So again, that light bulb is an
That
indicator
is
of how much
crazy.
activity there is. Look in here, but it catches my eye when I turn around. Alright, so let's kind of explore a little bit. Kind of see what we find, get a nice good slow sweep with the camera. Like again, the pixelization on that thing isn't really up to our cell phone standards.
Oh, yeah.
So you've probably seen it try to catch up a few times or reintegrate. But a lot of times, as soon as I turn on mine, it'll say "Hello, Nick" or "Hi, Nicholas." I'll usually get something very direct. Hello, Eliza. And a lot of times, so questions you can ask. Find out what the name of her one daughter was. She had 4 kids, 3 sons, 1 daughter. Do not ask how long they lived. There was an infant that didn't make it. Everything was shut down. I've seen it happen twice. You start asking about the infant that didn't make it, done. Everything else is done. Word soon. So you can also ask her what her favorite plant is, and it is not indigo. So it's always interesting to find these extra little tidbits. You can also ask what the son's names were. I gave you one, which was Charles. But you can find out what the other ones were. And again, might come up on the audio, might come up on the spirit box. That's why we have all these audible things that you can check out. So, no cars, no other people but me. So it's really hard to do. But honestly, I would just keep away from the photography in here.
Okay.
Have it as a point.
What do you think of pictures of cars? Keep her custom.
Yeah.
Good hot spots.
Yeah, it
up
was
in that
red,
area.
red. Like red. It's red right here too.
Put something we can have Eliza tell Angela while she's on that spirit box.
I don't want to take these.
Yeah, especially with the cars in the background. Tell Angela what color the dots are on the ground. I heard green, but I need you to tell Angela what color those are. Remember how
Oh
Bumblebee
yeah,
talked?
that's true.
It's the exact
That's
same
true.
principle.
And then I heard something because I asked over here what Eliza's favorite plant was,
Yeah.
and I heard plant come over.
Okay.
but-
I usually get something like soil or something, something along those lines dealing with your garden over here without me asking. So I'm not surprised if you have the word plant.
Not
Um,
getting anything else.
Favorite plant that we've come across on 2 different occasions. My goodness, what is the name of it? It's like a bluish purple color. It's not lavender. It's something else. I honestly would have to look it up because it came up twice for us on 2 different nights. I was like, oh, okay, it's definitely a definitive answer. Because I'm asking for her to step away from your gadget, I got the word grin, almost like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna stay right here. So I'm gonna wait for, and I was actually asking Eliza to tell you what color the dots were on the ground. It was flashing the green for 10, so I was waiting for you to tell me the word green.
There's a lot of stuff that's coming in really low that I can't hear.
And that's okay. And again, that's why it records everything. I can't listen to that for more than like 20 to 25 minutes at a time because it is very staticky. So when I'm going through your research in the morning, I'm literally picking hotspots. And I can't hear our voices, so I kind of have to go based on the time of the video and audio to see like what time frame do I need to listen to. So I just kind of bounce between. That's why there's so many devices recording. All right, so I'm not getting a whole lot of activity out of here tonight. Besides, obviously, your EMF. I'm not getting a whole lot of.
He's like going around.
Crazy. And honestly, this place has only let me down twice. So if I were to have a finale, this would be it. But again, I can't gauge what's going to happen. So for some nights where she's talking my ear off and that thing's still going crazy, and then the 2 nights I had nothing, no EMF, no anything come through here. Wow.
Huh.
So the next place we're going to go to, guys, is it's about 3.5 blocks away. We're going to go to Lodge Alley.
Okay.
So obviously, if you want to keep listening, you can. There's no stories along the way. Grids are absolute pocket items at this point because
Okay.
we're going to be walking on East Bay. Pictures the same way, but
Okay.
your EMF detector is going to go off only because we're going to be walking by parking meters and crosswalks. All that, like I said, the wiring is underground, so don't get excited.
Okay.
By all means, keep filming because we never know when we're going to find something.
Right.
So, all right, and my thing will stay down, and volume-wise. Is this what you all thought this was going to be?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
Huh.
good. If it's not, you can say so. I'm not offended. I've had people tell me, I thought we were going to just learn about history. No, we're going to go find it.
You want to switch, or you good? Enjoying your communication?
Just step up
Are you enjoying
and
your
so-
communication?
Yeah.
It's strange to see it on TV. but to see it going on live. No different thing.
It's kind of weird because you know how she was saying.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I can tell. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I walk fast.
oh,
you're fine.
no, you're fine. You were talking.
I mean, I watch a lot of different stuff on YouTube too.
We gotta go out and do something tonight.
All those cops standing right there, I'm gonna wait for them. been getting busier, but this is really good. When did you guys get into town?
Today.
Today too?
Yeah.
I wondered that you guys chose to hang out with me on your first day in Charleston. If you couldn't tell by my non-accent, I'm not from here. So
Where are you from?
I'm originally from Ohio.
Okay, cool.
Guys ever been to Myrtle Beach?
No.
Again, in my eyes, not really missing much.
Oh, there's development.
Oh, yeah.
Our beaches are much cleaner too, so if you came here for the beach, you're in the right area. Still got a square on your camera, the red square.
Yeah.
I can make sure it's still recording. You still got an SD on yours?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm still recording too. So there's been mishaps where things have drained like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Just one gadget, and I check batteries and charges, all that stuff, you know, just before I even go out for my day, and come up with a dead camera, or you know, my audio stops recording for 10 minutes and then it picks back up again. It happens all the time.
Oh, yeah, we were here earlier.
Yep.
Get one of me for it. Get one of the alleys.
Trying to get everything. I just didn't know.
Got some weird lighting stuff down here.
Huh.
That's crazy.
Nothing at all. Zero. Oh.
Either I'm sorry or absolutely.
I'm sorry, absolutely.
One or the other.
Uh-oh. Saying don't come in this alley.
Well, it's constant. See how constant it is?
Oh,
It's something man-made. That's from the building. It's going to be from all the electrical stuff that's inside that kitchen.
okay.
This is the back of the kitchen
Okay.
for the restaurant we just passed. So you guys are walking down Lodge Alley. I kind of like to stop here for a couple of reasons. First off, I used to tell one of my psychic stories here, but I've been diving more and more into the history of this location. It was just kind of a cool, creepy ambiance thing, but come to find out, this is actually one of the oldest streets in Charleston.
Oh.
So again, water's that way. It used to be much closer. So we had people that used to live on this street. It wasn't an alley then. This was a street. So people lived here. We had mariners, grocers, seamstresses, you name it. And it was lower class Charleston that used to live down here. So I listened for names and things that deal with a lower class when we're down here. We've had some odd pictures that come up
Bear
here.
with you.
I also got the word wench, so that would make sense down here as well. So, I didn't see the next one before that. Anyway, wow. But this is, again, one of the oldest streets we have here in Charleston. I have the full roster of all the residents, so that way I can match it up, kind of like with the football team with John back there. So if we actually get something, I don't like to be suggested. So it's like, usually James live down here, and all of a sudden James lives with James. You know what I mean? I like to discover. So that way, when I do discover something, guys, in your info page, in my analysis, I will give you the link of where I got that information. As a college kid, my research is that. So I like to prove it a lot. Imagine me as a writer, like that's what I do. But yeah, super cool place. If you want to grab some pictures down that way, this kind of way kind of makes some great shots too. If you can hold the picture still to get all those bars from the windows. Nothing comes up blurry. When we walk through the end of this alley, guys, we're going to be walking into a neighborhood. Tour guides are not allowed to be tour guides in neighborhoods. Okay, so we're going to go out of this alley and make a right, but at that point we're going to be 5 friends just close. Fair enough? Let me see how we're doing on time. We're actually doing really good on time, so we can probably squeeze in one of my extra places. How's that sound?
Cool.
Sounds good.
All right, let's do it.
And this is all original ones.
Yes. So these are clay bricks. The hotel next to us, this is the Lodge Alley Inn. Every hotel downtown pretty much has their own ghost. Theirs is no different. It just, there's no evidence to back it up, nor have I ever done an investigation there. So I can't really say that they're valid. So that's the rest of Charleston, and they're in every single hotel because everybody wants the attraction. So honestly, the goal for me is to purchase either new jobs or other places we're about to come up to. Maybe the Stories in the Cemetery ghost shop downstairs with half bookstore, half ghost hunting equipment. And then the upstairs apartments would be rented out as a hotel with a ghost kid in every room. So that way they get to teach and train with me, they get access to the tour, and then obviously they have their own investigation where I collect the data for them and put it up on the website. Of course, I'm going to charge an arm and a leg because I need to eat. But that's the goal. We're going to actually head this way.
That's what I feel like. New York kind of vibe. Carry everything, and then at the end of the night, I just put everything in my cargo pockets and walk back to my car. It was too hot to carry that bag. It was too bad. Yeah, this looks like you don't want to go in there at all. Freaking. That was right here. Look at this fucking brown, man. This is crazy.
camera, dude. You're pretty quiet.
Hmm? Oh, yeah. I'll probably miss something.
Yeah, this looks scary. Yeah. And it sounds so old, right?
So, kind of want to get some different things from this building across catty corner from us, the first building.
Yeah.
So that building is called Bocce's Restaurant. Bocce's hasn't been open since 2015 when they left town because it's too haunted.
Really?
Even the apartments upstairs are no longer occupied.
Wow.
The things that go on inside their doors once they shut, they once they locked. Things move around. A mirror fell off a bathroom wall that didn't shatter. To me, that's kind of a portal world that maybe didn't shatter or something was coming through. But this place would be the other spot that I would like to actually take a look at. Hey, how are you? When I was talking to you guys before about I would start a shop, that would be it right there.
Oh, okay.
I want to say there's 4 apartments upstairs, but it's a kitchen in there. It's a lot of renovations, so plus that's way more than the cost of Big John's. But Karina, if you can shoot a couple of pictures of it,
Yeah.
if you haven't already.
Yeah, I think so.
My daughter and I have caught things in the windows upstairs, heat signatures. Now, one of the reasons why I got that camera, Larry, is so that I can actually get through windows and whatnot. But it turns out thermal imaging cannot see through windows.
Right.
So, the only thing we're going to get out of that is the heat signature of the window. So, if something changes in that window, it's really the only evidence that we can actually capture. If something shows up on the outside of it, it's probably dust, bugs flying by, something like that.
Right.
But if the heat signature of the window changes, then we actually have something. And those pictures, do you know how to zoom in on that thing?
No.
Hit the T.
The T. Okay, there we go. Oh,
There you go.
Look at that. Wow.
This is more of the ghost horror attraction area. So people talk about the Powder magazine too.
Okay.
I'll kind of give you the skinny only because I don't have any evidence that it's actually haunted. The Powder magazine is on record the oldest building we have in Charleston.
Okay.
1713. My argument is that the Pink House on Chalmers Street is 1 year older, but there's no record. Super cool place if you're into old war stuff and you want to check out like all of the different wars that it served. I think there was 11. And it wasn't full wars. It didn't like start to end serving 11 full wars, but it held the gunpowder for those wars in and out. So it was kind of a hiding place for the colonies. It's the building itself is a groin vaulted ceiling, so it has 8 giant pillars on the outside, 36 inches thick, and then 1 in the center, and they all kind of concave right to that center pillar.
Cool.
The top of it is actually filled with sand. So the roof actually has sand underneath those big heavy shingles to help keep the blast in the event that it was actually attacked.
Oh, okay.
So, and it is within the confinements of our original Charlestown walls.
Okay.
So it is a little far off the water, as you can see. I mean, we're a good 2.5, 3 blocks away from the water, so if a cannon was to come through, we know it's probably going to land as far as this stop sign.
Right.
I've been through there several times. I have a season pass. It's actually really cheap to get there. It's like $5 a ticket if you look through the Groupon. But I have a season pass. I've been there several times with my gadgets. I get nothing.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing. For as old as that building is, because there's no death or any tragedies there. So it's a cool place. But I don't really see even the soldiers that manned it wanting to go back there to kind of check things out. Now there is a rumor that there is a pirate that hangs out there, a female pirate that we got here in Charleston. I'm not a big piratey person. I never really fully dove into it, nor can I see why a pirate would hang around in Powder magazine. I don't see it. But it looks like. I've been who owns that and why they're not. Oh, I know. So, Tommy Condon's, the restaurant right next to it, I want to say they own that building. So they're probably using that place as.
Oh, okay.
But the legend has it that the building actually got sold back to the city. The city. We're actually going to head back to Philadelphia Alley. I just wanted to see if we can get some good pictures from the front end. I don't normally come up this far because I don't normally talk about the Powder magazine, but the other like hotspot ghost areas with the legends and lore, all the other ghost stores are, taking up all those spaces. So yeah, let's go down to Philadelphia Alley. There's some cool stuff down there. That's why I just you stopped listening, didn't you?
That building we must have.
Oh, which building? The one we were just standing by? Okay.
The one that I would.
When you get these kind of butterflies and jitters, you gotta move on.
Cemetery.
Yeah, so there's a sign right there that says there's no ghost here but the Holy Ghost. So see that? So the reason for that is because there is a legend that goes along with this whole cemetery. Susan Howard Hardy was a woman that died 10 days after her stillborn child in 1888. In 1988, we get a photographer tourist in town who's just taking pictures all over the place, and he gets a full apparition from his camera. Now we're talking 1988, no cell phones, no Photoshop, you can't make this stuff up. So he sends the picture back to Kodak to try to debunk it. They can't do it. I don't show the picture because it has a curse to it. Any female that holds it will actually start to feel a little ill will. Pregnant female will not have a good pregnancy. So if you want to look it up, look at it on your computer screen, your television, or however you do that, by all means, just do not hold your phone while looking it up. It's a really cool picture.
What's the name?
Susan Howard Hardy. If you forget it, it's on your audio. So, all kinds of legends from here, guys.
It looked like a baby, yeah. It looked like a baby, but no, I don't think that's a
History buffs, we have John Calhoun, 7th Vice President, was buried across the street because he's not a citizen of Charleston. He was buried over here. They moved him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A couple other things that happen here. Right past the eastern side of the cemetery is the Pirate House, which is where Blackbeard's men would come off the ships and go have a pint, find a good woman, have a good time. There was also a tunnel from the Pirate House all the way up to Duxbury Theater. Duxbury Theater is a full block away. It is one of the top 10 haunted locations in America. However, I get no evidence when I walk through with my gadgets. So I've been through several times, and the story is really cool because it's almost like somebody had to figure out the ghost because it's very uncanny. The ghost that said that's there is Nettie Dickerson. She used to work here at the church. No, I guess take a step backwards. Duxbury Theater used to be a theater, then it was a hotel, and then it was to the theater that we know now. So with that being said, this is during the time when Duxbury Theater was a hotel. Nettie Dickerson worked here. She was past the marrying age of 17. She was 23. So she went down to the hotel to get herself a job as a prostitute. She got that job. She was still unhappy and used to go out to the second-story balcony to ponder about coming back to the church because you can see the church from that balcony. The priest goes down one night to go try to talk her into coming back. The storm rolls in. Lightning strikes the wrought iron banister that she's leaning on and strikes her dead. Now, the story goes, you can see her ghost from the knees up. So remember, when I told you it was the hotel and then we turned it into a theater again. Well, when we did that, we raised the first floor ceiling. She's walking on the floor that she knows. So we can only see her from the knees up. We didn't know that. Somebody had to figure that out. So, I mean, we're talking a full foot higher. So, imagine, that's right about the knee,
Yeah.
probably a little bit just below. The other ghost there is Junius Booth. He's been seen several times in period dress when it was originally a theater in the 1700s. He is the father of John Wilkes Booth, who shot Lincoln in a theater. However, Junius is not from here. He didn't die here, and he's not buried here. Interesting stuff. All right, let's head back down to Philadelphia Alley. See what we come across here.
Hello, guys.
Oh,
Normally don't get a ton of activity here, just because it's the more common area. It's usually littered with tours.
mhm.
So you have to imagine I keep like an extra 25 stories in my back pocket, just in case I get a small tour or if I have extra time. Got things downtown? Yeah.
Yeah, hotel is right over there.
Something came up there. Karina, go. This would be a good picture. Karina, shoot a couple pictures down there. That way you guys have souvenir. We'll zoom in.
Appearance? Oh, I see that.
Maybe, yeah, let's get the camera down so it doesn't think we're just shooting film. There is a resident that lives there.
Oh, you see that? Oh,
How you
my
caught
God.
that and I didn't.
Yeah, that looks like a very pyramid.
This is a cool little alleyway.
Yeah, this is beautiful.
Looks like a nice place to go for a walk.
You're in the daytime. Why are you trying to walk during the night?
Either way, this is honestly the most beautiful calm spot we have in Charleston. In downtown Charleston. It sounds,
We
it's,
gotta come here during the day.
there is, we're 1 block away from East Bay Street and it sounds just like this on a busy day. Don't ask me how.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
It just does.
Wow.
So, this gate behind me, well, first off, you guys are standing in what is now known as Philadelphia Alley. We had to name it after a city after dueling became illegal because this was duelers' alleys. Take 20 paces, turn and shoot kind of duels.
Okay.
That's what used to happen here. There's probably been thousands of duels that happened here, but all us tour guides, we tell the story of one because it's interesting. And we actually have gadgets to prove it true or false. So that's why I tell the story. Every other ghost tour is going to make this a big 15-minute finale. I'm going to give you the skinny in about 4 minutes. I timed it. So, know that the gate behind me, this is really cool. So the loser of the duel would go through this gate to the cemetery we were just looking at. And then
Oh.
everybody else would go have a drink and it'd be a good
Soaking
celebration.
red.
Something red.
Soaking red.
Soaking red. Well, a lot of blood was spilled here. That makes sense. I did get the word poured earlier as we were walking in here. Interesting. So I told the story of the door. So the story goes, Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd was known as the Whistling Doctor. The Whistling Doctor moved down here because he was supposed to get married to a female. Let's get out of their way. Hi, how are you?
Oh, good.
So his fiance's name was Amanda. Her parents just died. She just inherited a bunch of money. The lawyer said, no, you aren't getting married yet. So he told the doctor, go finish your studies and go start your practice and then we'll talk. I want to make sure you're not going out of money. So, I'm down here in Charleston. That was in Jersey. He's down here. The coachman sets him up. They're supposed to drop him off at a good place to live. Sets him up to be robbed and killed. Not a really good place to start in Charleston. So, passerby says, you don't want to stay here, let me take you somewhere else. His name was Ralph Isaacs. I'll tell you that because Ralph has come through on my spirit boxes in the past. So Ralph takes him to 59 Church Street, which is about 1.5 miles from here. Keep that in mind when I tell you about the duel. And they're to become friends. However, Ralph is just a normal Charlestonian, and the doctor's moving up in the hierarchy of Charleston. He's becoming a doctor. He's very happy. He's got lots of money, and they go whistling. So that's why it's known as the Whistling Doctor. So, the two used to go to plays together, but they had to sit in different seats because they were on different ends of the hierarchy, right? So, they talked about the plays afterwards. They were walking home, and one night they're talking about Richard III. There was a new actress in town. The doctor loved her. Ralph did not. It turned into an insult party on the doctor's fiance back home, and the two get pissed off and go their separate ways. So, Ralph, being a regular Charlestonian, writes in the city newspaper what a disgrace the doctor is to the city of Charleston. He's not from here. He takes her money. Blah blah blah. The doctor says, "Hell no, we're not doing it this way. We're going to settle this in Doer's Alley." So the two come down here. They take their 20 paces. The doctor turns. He shoots his gun in the air. He doesn't want to kill his friend. He just wanted to make a point. However, Ralph Isaacs takes 2 shots below the knees. The doctor falls to the ground. He didn't die. So his friends pick him up and they carry him to 59 Church Street. He dies 10 days later. Now, it is said, as you walk through this nice, perfectly quiet alley, that you can hear whistles. So when you're listening to your audio, this is where you turn it up. You're listening for whistles. Now, everybody knows this story that was here in Charleston, so you're going to hear people in the background trying to make fun of us and, listening for the whistle. But that's kind of one of the, or you can hear gunshots. I've heard a whistle one time that I couldn't explain, so we never know it's going to come up. I've had the words doctor, medicine come through on different types of spirit boxes that refer to the doctor, but I've also had it's me, R, come through. Ralph Isaacs. So again, I've had different stuff come through here. What I will tell you is that the end of this alley is residential. Somebody lives on this street. So we have to be very quick at the end. But at the end, you're going to notice the bricks are going to start to look a little different. They get older as we keep going. So it's one of those Charleston nuggets of history. The bricks at the end were, what's the term I'm looking for? Sun-dried by slave children. You can still see their fingerprints and handprints in the bricks. We have one full handprint and plenty of fingerprints.
Okay.
So I will point them out to the person behind me. Normally when it's a long group, it's a train. Everybody shows the handprint. The person takes a picture if they want one. But we got to be quick. We're going to make a left outside of the end of this alley. Your EMF's going to go crazy in the center because that's where the Footlight Players Club is. That's the actor studio for Dock Street Theater that I told you about earlier. So don't get excited when it goes crazy. But otherwise, if you want to keep listening, just keep it at you've been at a great level all night. So, but yeah, the filming here, let's see what we can capture. And I will turn mine up just loud enough so we can get it on the audio and see what we capture. Pretty cool story, but everybody exaggerates it. In July did we go?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, okay, cool.
This is the actor studio here. Sometimes you see like Ray Gala and it's out here.
That's nice. Yeah.
Let's
there
see.
it is. It's right here.
Yeah. Talking about the
It's a cicada or something. Or locust. Weird, you never see them fly.
Alright, there's one last place to take a look at. It's just, you see how all these floors are passing these places up? They don't even talk about all this little cool stuff that we have. So we're going to actually walk down that same path here coming up, and we're going to be heading towards the East Bay. So the cool thing is, this building that they're walking past is the Wagner building. It was part of our cotton industry. The last person that had it as part of the cotton industry was George Carrera. George inherited the turn on the spirit box. So hard to talk about listening to that too. So he inherited the business from his dad. He had no idea what he was doing. Silver spoon kid. And he got himself into a bunch of things. He had no work ethic whatsoever. So his dad is obviously dead. But he gets himself into a bunch of debt. The boll weevil moves into town. The boll weevil's a bug that eats cotton. So his offices would have been in the front of the building, and obviously the warehouse and the worker area was back here. Now it's condos, and it's turning into a wedding reception venue in the front. So George, in all this debt and depressed, he decides he's going to sell all his cotton to the British. So the British roll up to Pineapple Park, which I'm sure you guys will visit, but it was obviously much closer than it is now. And they unload from back here, horse and buggy, and load up the ship with all the cotton. He's done. He's going to be able to pay off most of his debt. However, somebody gets too close to the cotton with a pipe, and the whole ship goes up in flames. Everybody dies. Yeah, he sees all of this. So now only can he not pay off his full debt. He was already depressed. Now his dad's legacy is gone. So now he just looks foolish. So he piles up all the furniture, swings a noose over the rafters, and he hangs himself. It is said you can see the shadow of a swinging corpse from the second-story window. We've been testing different theories with this building. So one of the theories that I have is, everybody see the back, the really tall arch there, where it kind of tips up?
Yeah.
We have something very similar in the very front of the building. With the infrared thermometer, who has that?
Right here.
No, the thermometer.
Oh,
You
the
have that
thermometer.
one. So with that red dot, when we go to the very front of the building, we're going to measure the very tip of the building, and then like 5 feet below it, it's the same type of concrete. We won't be able to mistake it. There's usually a 20 to 30 degree difference. Usually. Sometimes I've had 5-degree differences, or sometimes none at all. But certain days, it's like I'm testing it every night now. One of my guests started doing that, and I was like, wow, a 30-degree difference in a 5-foot drop? That doesn't make any sense. So he tested other buildings, which I told him not to do because they are apartments and businesses, but he did it anyway, and we couldn't find a match. So, the other weird thing about this building is I've been getting Zoe from Poogan's Porch. So about a block up from where we came out of the alley is Poogan's Porch, our haunted restaurant here in town. Poogan is a dog, so he normally will pull on pant legs and things like that. And then Zoe St. Amand, who was the previous owner, died in that house by falling down the stairs. Now Zoe spells her name Z-O-E. I have several instances where that exact spelling came through on my spirit box when investigating this building. So I never know who I'm talking to. So we're going to cross legally twice. We're going to go straight ahead and then cross that way. Obviously lasers are not going to be good on this thing, so I'll kind of see what we can capture, and you can help with it. The EMF's going to go crazy at the front of the thing, so don't manage. So we're looking for things behind it. But also keep in mind these are people's houses. It's concrete. Alright, so again, we're talking the second story window. So what you're going to be shooting at, see like the white concrete at the very tip? Think you can hit that with your gun? Just got to pull the trigger one time, it'll turn on. Okay, right there, what's it say?
72.3,
Okay, now go down to the little arch below it, right there.
82.
Okay, so we got a 10-degree difference. Track. Turning this into a wedding reception area. This will also used to be a brewery. So when they brewed beer here, they obviously had a lot of taps and those kind of things. Taps would turn on by themselves, cold spots would occur without anybody figuring out the AC. A lot of stuff is happening in this building. I'll be interested to hear if we get haunted wedding receptions now, because everybody wants a waterfront reception. Because we're a big, wedding destination. So, actually a really cool picture of what you're doing right there. Actually, the rocket building. I've done sweeps from across the street before. We've had pictures taken from across the street before. We capture some things like weird different temperatures from time to time in the windows, but it's just a matter of this is a dead spot. Either it's super active or it's super dead. And I got the name George came through kind of, but when I started asking questions, I was asking it to tell you on your spirit box what happened to the ship. To kind of see if that kind of communication has just been our trend for the night, so to speak. I'm not really getting anything else, but you can see like so instead of go crazy up here, just fine with all of our crosswalks and I said pretty much if it's the same thing on every pillar, then it's going to be the wiring inside.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not getting anything coming from here. You haven't set a peep since we left the alley. So I'm going to call this a dead spot for the night. And that'll be pretty much our night. So what did you guys think?
It's fun.
What you thought was going to be? It's a lot different, isn't it?
Yeah, that was cool.
That's definitely a little bit more than your normal tour guide.
Yeah, most of it's just stories and
Yep.
things like
Normally.
that.
Yeah.
I'll take
To
it
see
out.
this thing go off was like